Hello there, Facebook lovelies. Hello there, Instagram lovelies. Frog in the throat, gotta clear it. So good to be here with you. So good to see you guys. You look gorgeous. I like your hair. You look like you're losing weight there. Anyway, you look good. It's so good to be here with you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate. I'm one of the leading coaches in the US when it comes to design for design lovers, for design enthusiasts. We have great courses that we offer here at the Interior Design Advocate. I love being able to wipe out the frustration, wipe out that ugly room that's driving you crazy, or the room that's just sort of missing the mark, or just something's off. We love to be able to support you, and that's why we also stop every Tuesday. We stop what we're doing at our luxury design company here in the Philadelphia region of the United States, and we put a pin in what we're doing to come out here and talk to you, teach you a lesson, answer some design questions, and it's just my way of giving back to you, supporting you, and just kind of wrapping you in a big hug. So there you go. So today, we're going to be talking about the perils of downsizing, and we're also going to be getting into a bit of what it takes when you're doing small room design. So if you're not in the process of downsizing, you may want to stick around or watch this as if you're watching it as a video replay on our YouTube channel. You may want to stick around so you can get some of that content, and I will love taking your questions live. And I'm getting hellos and waves and hi to everybody. It's so good to see you. All right, so when we talk about downsizing, the perils of downsizing, there are a couple of things to think about. There's the functional side, what actually happens as you start to give up space to go into this smaller residence. There's the adjustment you need to make before you move, and then there's also the psychological side. So we're going to get to all of it because you know me, I'm a touchy-feely, airy-fairy design aficionado as well as your coach. So it's important that I take care of all of you, not just the design color selecting part of you as well. So let's talk about that downsize when you're going into less space. You definitely have not only smaller rooms, you now have fewer rooms, which also is going to result in fewer windows. Fewer windows means less light than perhaps what you're used to. If you're going from a large home to a smaller home, to a large home to maybe a condo, a mid-size home to an apartment, right? You're now dealing with not only compression of space, but also less light. And that can be a little bit of an adjustment. Also, the thing to know that gets to be a real bugaboo when you're downsizing is that you have too much furniture, right? You have more rooms now than you're moving into, so you definitely have to start purging furniture. But in terms of what you keep, you're going into fewer rooms, and sometimes, often that means some smaller rooms than what you are dealing with now. So that means that a lot of the furniture you now own is going to be a little too small for your new space, or a little too big for your new smaller space. And that's where it gets tough. I always teach when you push architecture, you can only push so far. Eventually architecture says, see ya, not gonna work. So if you try to overcram a smaller space with too much furniture, it will always bite you in the rear end. Don't do it. That said, small spaces with lots of little furniture, never a good idea. It's terrific to maximize your space with as substantial a piece of furniture as a space can handle. That's what will start to help that space to feel larger and fuller and more expansive, provided that you've done a fantastic furniture space plan, perfect layout, and that you've also done your color selections really wisely. So when you're doing small space decorating to expand that space using receding colors, so that you're not putting like a big advancing color that will take up space onto a sofa. I was just talking to somebody about an apartment project in Philadelphia today. She loves dark upholstery. I said, hey, how would you feel about moving those deeper velvets and colors to some side chairs as opposed to the sofa that's going to dominate the room? So when you're dealing with small space decorating and or downsizing, think about getting your space plan lickety split perfect and making sure that you're not trying to cram too much furniture in or oversize things for your space. And conversely, you don't want to use a lot of teeny weeny itty bitty things. Now, what do you do about adjusting to less light in a smaller space? Because if you're in a downsize, you're used to more window, therefore more natural light. Well, here again, you can do things like increasing your artificial lighting, overhead lighting, beautiful fixtures in rooms, triangulate your light in the room, make sure you have 3 lamps in a room and get them into sort of a triangular arrangement as if you were looking down from the ceiling at this room, if you traced some lines, you would have kind of like a triangle. So you're trying to broadcast a nice downcast light throughout the room in that way as well. So increasing the lighting will help as you're adjusting in a downsize to smaller spaces and therefore less window. And you can also do things with your artwork, like instead of doing things that have a matte sensibility, like an oil painting or a watercolor, instead you might want to do things, well, an oil painting, you may want to do things that are mounted behind glass, like a watercolor or like posters. So you're trying to increase the bounce and the shine in the room. You can also think about adding things like large mirrors. Unless you've been under a rock, I'm sure you've read that on a blog someplace. But a nice big standing mirror, great way to increase a sense of space and augment light. A nice oversized mirror above a sofa. Nice big mirror, standing mirror in a master bedroom. Again, these are just ways to kind of push your space, because when you're downsizing, you're adjusting to these, less space, and which also can mean less window, smaller windows, less light. So let's talk about the next step. When you're downsizing or dealing with a smaller space, you got to purge. That should be like a Broadway show toe tapper. You got to purge, but you do. I'm talking about purging all the papers. I'm talking about purging from the kitchen. I'm talking about purging clothing, stuff that no longer, to quote Marie Kondo, brings you joy. If you don't love it, if you don't want to put it on, if it doesn't fit you, get rid of it. Kitchen items, doubles, triples, get rid of it. Books that you don't love, books that you don't want to reread, pass them forward. Books that don't give you joy just to have them in your home as a memory of where you've been, get rid of it. Memorabilia, par down on that. I know it can be really hard to do, so feel free to ask for help. Maybe you want to call in a professional organizer, or just elicit your best buddy and see if she can come over and spend a couple of hours with you, forcing you to just take a look at it. I am not moving or downsizing at this moment in time, but I did a massive closet clean out, and I enlisted my daughter. She's going to be 24 soon. And I said, Anna, if this looks old, fuddy-duddy, or just like not where I want to be in my dress right now, tell me, out. And we were brutal. And we just looked, I got rid of bags and bags full of clothing from my closets, my main closet, my overflow, off-season closet, and also my drawers. I can see what I want. I can see what I need. I can get to it easily, and things can have a little breathing room. You definitely want to do that before you move, okay? Even when you're thinking about downsizing, start doing that purging. It will feel great. And always know, whether you are an airy-fairy gal or not, I am telling you that when people start getting rid of their clutter, getting rid of all that extra stuff, almost always when I see clients do that, they're making room for something new, for some new energy to come in. So do it if you're in that downsize. Now, the other peril of downsizing, and I'll take your project questions in a sec, but the last point I want to make about the perils of downsizing is sometimes downsizing happens because it's a situation you want, and sometimes downsizing happens because it's a situation you really don't want. So let's talk about the ones that you do want, because they both come with pressure. So you might be downsizing because you're retiring right now, and you're thinking, what am I going to do now? I'm retiring. Does this mean like I'm one step away from, pushing up daisies? Or maybe you are downsizing because of a change in job and you're relocating. That comes with stress also. So if you're downsizing because of an event that you kind of want, you wanted to retire, or you accepted a new job, if you can, do some mindfulness work. Definitely see if you can try to look at this as a wonderful treasure chest of discovery. You're going to be moving into a new chapter with some great new faces, new friends, new opportunities to be discovered, and try to keep focusing on the expansiveness of it. Not everything you're losing by moving, but everything that you're growing into. Okay. So I know that for when we help families downsize, even if it's for a reason that they want, there is this stress that can come with it, and there's some sadness that can come with it too. So just know that those are very normal feelings, and hopefully doing some mindfulness work can help you. Again, be careful where you dwell. Think not just in your home, but up here. So thinking about doing some mindfulness work and framing things in the expansive new phase that you're going into, and all of the wonderful gifts that await you there. Now, sometimes downsizing happens because of something you didn't want, something heartbreaking, loss of a spouse, the death of a spouse, or loss of a marriage through divorce, or job loss. When downsizing happens because of a life event like that, please know that downsizing under the best of circumstances is stressful for all the families that we help, the couples, the individuals. When it happens because of that, those unwanted, heartbreaking situations, know this: if you can, wait at least a year before you make a big transition kind of move. And by all means, there is nothing wrong with eliciting some help. And I'm not just saying getting in a professional organizer. I'm saying talking to a teacher and or a therapist, somebody who can help you to start reframing this move when you're ready to do it, to be able to say, okay, this is a feet to the fire time in my life right now. I am not enjoying this, but I want to make this new nest of mine really support me beautifully in this next chapter, whatever this chapter is. And although I'm in sadness right now, I know that by moving into this new space with as clear a heart as I can and with an expectation that it's going to be okay, then I can have a little more success in the way I'm designing it and surrounding myself with colors that make me feel good, furnishings that make me feel good, etc. So just know that downsizing under the best of circumstances is stressful. When it comes because of a life event that you didn't want, it can be even tougher. Don't feel that you have to handle it yourself. Reach out to family, reach out to a professional, get some support so that you know that this next stage and this next phase, whatever it is, there's going to be something there for you, something you'll be called to, something that will speak to you. And if you can try to, again, do some mindfulness work so that you are managing the perils of your downsize so that you can have as positive an outcome as possible, oh, I'd sure love to see you do that. And of course, if you need help with your downsize, if you know that you have to do a great space plan and you don't know how, or you don't know how to take the furniture you already own and integrate it into the new things you want to do, I want to encourage you to check out my Decorating Genius course. It's a phenomenal online course that is a game changer for women across the country and beyond. We've helped thousands of women. It is an online course that also has attached to it a private Facebook community. So like I like to say, why DIY? Why DIY when you can DWO? Decorate with others. It's a wonderful point where you don't want to hire a designer, but you don't want to do it on your own. My courses and the community that I bring, it's just a wonderful opportunity and midpoint for you there too. So the perils of your downsize can become less perilous, hopefully with the tips I've suggested to you today. But certainly, if you'd like to check out our Decorating Genius course, that can be just a phenomenal game changer for you as well. Okay, lovelies. Well, I would love to take your questions. If you have a project question, either about your downsize or about small space decorating, I'm happy to take your answer your questions. I don't know if we have any questions coming in right now. I've got comments. Marcia is excited about today's subject. Jennifer's saying hello and happy Tuesday. Pam's here from Chicago. Elaine is saying that she wishes she could borrow my daughter. She had sons. Elaine, make your sons watch your fashion show and just say, listen, does this make me look like an old crazy woman, or does this make me look, 12 pounds heavier than I really am? The boys will tell you, but it's nothing. It is fun having a daughter to do that kind of stuff. And I'm getting more and more hellos there. I'm getting waves on Instagram. You're welcome to type in a question about your project, small space decorating. Oh, high-tech time. It's conference update time. Oh my gosh, you guys. The Design Diva conference, there it is. The Design Diva conference, it's happening. It's live. It's happening in Philadelphia, September 28th and 29th. Oh my gosh, we are pulling out the stops. This is, I think, going to be some of my best teaching yet. We're going to be diving into things like when bad design happens to good people and hacks to get out of it, the common things that we see happening. I'm doing a color game changer workshop. Oh my gosh, you will be boss when it comes to mapping out color in a way that will give you confidence, because you'll understand color in a whole new way. Also, oh my gosh, a phenomenal workshop that is more advanced, but I teach it in a really accessible way. It has to do with some of the advanced moves that designers do. It's kind of hard to teach in design school, but I've got it nailed for you. And it's all about some of the advanced flourishes, rhythms, and harmonies that designers put into spaces. And yesterday I was putting some finishing touches on this great workshop I'm also doing about how to mix furniture styles. And no, you don't have to sit through 2 semesters of furniture history. This is a down and dirty, get it moving conference that will also include masterminding. You'll be doing masterminding with your some of your peers. And there's also a phenomenal panel that's going to be filled with professional designers from the area, so that we'll be doing some secret sharing for flourishes, problem solving, etc. And there's a lot of Q&A through the days as well. It's a day-and-a-half conference. We're feeding you, and we are just inspiring you. Like I said, why DIY when you can DWO? Why DIY when you can design with others? And that's what this conference is all about. Real magic will be happening in Philadelphia on September 28 and 29. So day and a half, head to our website, theinteriordesignadvocate.com. Click on the events tab, and then you can see exactly what the agenda is, what the takeaway is, and we've got great pricing available for you right now. Big savings from the full price ticket. Alrighty, so grab your daughter. We have I think a couple of mother and daughter teams already coming. Grab your bestie. I think we have some best friends coming as well, or come solo and let us just wrap you in some hugs. All right, so if I don't have any questions, I will I'll scoot you out of here a little early today. Okay, Sydney is asking a question on Facebook. She says, Donna, I have new furniture and I hate the idea of not taking it with me for my downsize. I haven't moved yet, but we will be looking for a 1,400 to 1,600-ish square foot home from a 2,400 square foot home. Okay, so that's definitely a downsize. It's a given that the rooms of it's a given that my rooms in my new home will be smaller. Should I resign myself to letting some of it go? Guess I'll just wait. All right, Sydney, here's what I want you to know. Here's what I want everybody to know. Everything's doable, but you can't have everything all at the same time. So what I would suggest is that if you have pieces that you really love, Sydney, get them measured so you know how big that sofa is and how big that whatever is, that bookcase is, and be willing to re-envision your furniture so that your favorite pieces, maybe you break up your dining room so that in the new space, Sydney, you might have your dining room table and chairs, but maybe the console sideboard that you love, maybe that's going to go into a living room, or maybe that's going to go into a guest room. Be willing to envision things in a different way. Maybe an armchair that's in your current living room that won't fit in the new living room, but you love the armchair, that might go into a bedroom. We do that all the time when we're helping people with downsizes. We take rooms apart. We look at the furniture pieces as the beautiful things that they are, what their opportunities are. I know the lighting's kind of weird on Instagram. Sorry, we keep getting blown out. Sorry, Instagram. Something weird happening there today in the Instagram ethos. Break them apart, and you can put them into different arrangements. You could add different things in different rooms. A guest room, a home office, you know, and a living room could have furniture in it that was formerly from a dining room and a second bedroom. Do you know, you can really start to move things around. But at the end of the day, Sydney, when I said you can have a lot, but you can't have everything, you can't cram 2,400 square foot of furniture into 1,400 square feet. You can't. Otherwise, you will look like you should be on the HGTV show called Hoarding, and we're going to have to dig you out with a shovel and say, oh, look at this woman with all the cats and all the furniture. We don't want that for you, Sydney. Because I know you as one of my students, I know that you're sensitive to the way your surroundings feel. So if you, and so many people are, if you're here in a Facebook Live with me, I know you are. If you're interested in design, I know you are. So at the end of the day, pick your best pieces, pick the pieces that you think will fit best in that new space, and be willing to let certain things go. I don't care how new it is. It doesn't matter if it's too big. If that bookcase is too big for your new, I don't know, home office, if the sofa is too big for your new living room, who cares if you love it? It doesn't work in your new space, and you're going to be crawling over it and tripping over it. Just met with somebody in Philadelphia today, a first apartment for her, a new career, a young professional, I should say. There's a big sectional that is totally dominating this small living room, it will never look right in there. It will never look good in there. So there comes a point in time where, like I said, architecture always wins. So you can only fight it so much, Sydney. So I feel your pain. See if you can find some of your furniture another home, so you'll know that it's going to good use. It's the best thing I can tell you. But I totally get it. And one day, most of us are going to downsize. So most of us are looking at that same transition, which is not easy. And especially if it's something, if it's furniture that belonged to somebody that you love, or you're saying that it's new furniture, or maybe it's something that was like a dream piece and you finally got it and now just not working for you. It's tough to let those things go. But at the end of the day, I think you'll be so much happier with your end result if you make sure your proportion and amount of furniture is appropriate to your new surrounding. Great question though, Sydney, thank you. Michelle Eisen is saying, how do you feel about estate sales? You can do one. Yeah, make some money. If you're saying you want to sell your things or you want to go shop at one, they're both fine. So I say go for it, either on either end. And Instagram, if you have questions, Katie's going to send them to me. I should just tell you right now that if you have a question where I need to look at a picture to answer you, Katie's not even going to send that to me. I'm not even going to answer you. So please, if your question starts with, I have a brown sofa and I need a wall color, I'm not going to take that question. You have to give me something a little more specific, or I need to not have to look at a picture. Otherwise, I would give you a garbage answer, and I don't want to do that. I believe in awesome information for you. All right, Sharon Scott is saying, our condo has an old-fashioned bar area with a sink and mirrors and glass shelves. I'm having trouble deciding how to modernize it. Any ideas? Old-fashioned, I'd love to know what you mean by old-fashioned. I mean, that's kind of a generic term. Old-fashioned to you might be kind of vintage and cool to somebody else. It might be dowdy and out of style to somebody else. So I don't really know exactly what you mean. You could always remove the mirror at the back. You can always get rid of your glass shelving, keep the base and the bar, and just do something really cool at the back. Maybe a cool backsplash, or maybe, I don't know, maybe cool wallpaper up the back, and get rid of all the shelving and the other stuff, Sharon. Hopefully that's an option for you. Okay, Katie's telling me final 2 questions, so let's see what else we have here. Linda Moore is asking, will the workshop on mixing furniture styles be available online like Design CPR? I can't make the conference. There are no plans to put the conference online, and if we did, I don't know that we would break it out by conference. It won't be lower cost, I think, to just buy the material if we even release it. I don't know what, we have no plans. We have no plans for what we're doing after that conference, Linda, so I'm sorry you're going to miss it because it's pretty great, but I'll take that under advisement that you might like a course on that at some point. And I'll miss you there, Linda. But I get it. Some people have conflicts. I've seen some really funny comments from people who said that they look, one of my students, one of my peeps, she said, can you hear me crying? I looked at Jonna's agenda and I have a wedding that weekend. I can't make it. I'm crying into my teacup here. Elaine is saying, grandson wants to build a desk. Can you suggest where to get ideas? He's 13. Pinterest. Katie's saying Pinterest. I don't know. I don't build things. I hire people to build things. I'm sorry, Elaine. But cool beans that you've got a 13-year-old that wants to build a desk. I like it. Sydney's saying, great ideas. Maybe I'll share with attendees at the conference. Okay. Meredith is saying, hi. Sue Cap is saying, I have a room that is open concept with the kitchen. I had to get rid of a lot of things because I don't have any shelves or walls that are I don't have any shelves or walls that are empty. My question is, I have 3 sliding doors into the lanai, and I don't have curtains because I think it would make my space look smaller. What do you think? Sue, I would like to see, I'm sorry, I'd like to see a picture to be able to answer you, so I'll see if there's another picture down there. Who invented the skip? I don't even, Paul Bardell is asking, who invented the skip? I don't even know what that means. Is that a question? That's a weird question. We're not going to answer that question. Sorry, Paul. I don't know who invented the skip. Okay, the Den rule, I don't know what that is all about. Okay, last question. Dan North, I have a garage plot that is adequate enough. What? I don't, okay. I don't know. We have people crashing our Insta. I don't know what the heck people are asking me. Have I heard of a cup of beans? Okay, so things are getting totally weird. Last question is from Jake Shepard. My house is being renovated and I'm living in a caravan with my Polish girlfriend. She keeps buying items with my face on it. Are they fashionable? Okay. Over and out, I guess, on that one. Listen, it was weird, but it was fun. See you guys next Tuesday. Literally, I'm not saying that in a figurative way. We'll see you next Tuesday, 4 p.m. here on Facebook. We are talking about the perils of what? Perils of upsizing. Whole different bowl of beans happening. There you go. So listen, guys, great seeing you. Crashers, interesting. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.